Dave O'Connell, and these are some of the stories that we have in this week's Connacht Tribune. The Tuam motorway has turned into something of a saga over the years, with more stopping and starting than a traffic jam, but the signing of contracts will happen over the next few days, and the work won't come a minute too soon for some major employers who have grown increasingly frustrated at the poor transportation links, particularly to the north and the south of the county, and indeed most particularly of all to the nearest airports. So the start of work on the motorway, presuming this isn't another false dawn, will be good news for jobs, both in terms of the project itself but also in safeguarding existing employment. We have a special feature on e-cigarettes, and it's timely because this week is the 10th anniversary of the pub smoking ban. But while those cigarettes are all out of sight and subject to very heavy regulation, e-cigarettes are stocked in shops beside the sweets with no regulation at all, and we're asking just how the rules can be so different for both. Other than that, we have the last St. Patrick's Day parade of the year in Portumna, because they were busy winning the All-Ireland Club title on the day itself. There's the story of a confirmation day that turned sour when it descended into a family row. We've a special report on what Galway doctors are calling a crisis in GP care across the county, and a lovely story about an old sideboard that spent years as a sort of a chicken coop, but when the dirt was stripped away, this turned out to be a piece of both historical and indeed monetary value that once graced the grand rooms of the famous Castle Taylor in Ardrahan. In sport, one of Galway's outstanding footballers of the modern era, Michael Meehan, has been talking to Kieran Tierney on his decision to take at least an extended break from the game because of his recurring injury problems, but he also says he's been overwhelmed by the public support that his news has received. Also in sport, it's another big weekend for Galway hurlers, and they face Limerick in their National League quarter-final, while the footballers simply must win their league clash with Armagh and Tuam. So another big weekend for GAA, and that's all in 24 pages of sport. So we've all of that and loads more in the Connacht Tribune in the shops this Thursday and every Thursday. Make sure and get your copy.